What is going on, guys? My name is Nate the Effing Great, and welcome to another edition of Change the F Up, where I take something that was supposed to be very successful, but unfortunately went lackluster because, well, let's face it, I like to change things up. I am an effing genius, and I'm just that effing amazing. No ding required. So, today we are going to be discussing WrestleMania 32. I know. A lot of people thought it was an okay show. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have been better. Obviously, yes. Excuse me, I just need to adjust this a little bit. Um, what I'm going to do is that for the competitors of the matches, I'm not going to change anything. I am actually going to deal with the cards that I have been dealt, and I'm going to make the most of it. So please, guys, bear with me. Hopefully, I can turn this WrestleMania 32 catastrophe into something a little bit better than what it was. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Let's start off with the epic pre-show. Yay! So we start off with the first matchup, which is not Kalisto versus Ryback. Kalisto versus Ryback will be the main event of the pre-show. So we're going to be kicking off with the Usos against the Dudley Boys. And I'm actually going to be adding a couple stipulations here and there. Hopefully that will also make it better. For this stipulation, the winning team gets a tag team title shot against the tag team champions tomorrow night on Raw. So we have the Dudley Boys and the Usos do their basic, slugging it out, everything like that. During the matchup, though, Jey Uso actually gets 3D'd onto the barricade and gets taken out of the matchup for the time being. Jimmy Uso tries to fight back, but the Dudley Boys' numbers game is just too much. Jey Uso would eventually get the hot tag and try to beat down the Dudley Boys. Jimmy Uso tries to do his suicide plancha onto Bubba Ray, but Bubba gets out of the way. Jimmy gets taken out. Jey goes for the splash on Devon, who rolls out. Boom. Jey Uso gets, he eats a lot of the canvas. Another 3D. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Dudley Boys get their title shot the following night on Raw. We go into the next matchup, which is Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde. Honestly, it wasn't a bad match. It was just the way that they booked it was just really horrible, to say the least. So for this match, it is actually going to be an elimination style matchup. And I'm not going to go through all the nitpicky, this person eliminated this, but I am going to go through a couple of highlights throughout the matchup. So the first elimination would actually be Eva Marie. Now I will explain why. During the matchup, Eva Marie tags herself in because she wants to kind of quote unquote prove herself to being a better diva than what she was before. So she tags herself in. Of course, the rest of Team Total Divas, they're thinking, who does she think she is? We could have had the victory. Tamina Snuka, bam, super kick out of nowhere. And the Team Total Divas are just thinking, whoa, well, that just came out of nowhere. Now, Tamina looks on, and the Total Divas, they don't look like they're going to do anything. So she picks him up, and Eva Marie gets hit with a Samoan drop. She basically gets a lot of finishers, and during this kind of massacre, you could say, Team Total Divas, they're actually applauding. They're just like, hey, good job, good move. Eventually, Eva Marie gets eliminated, and she's out of the ring. Tamina actually takes a couple of moves too, which eliminates her. She's going to have a little bit more of a badass attitude here. So hopefully, maybe 3 finishers, 4 finishers, see how well that goes. But the final 2 would be Brie Bella versus Lana. And honestly, that's how it was supposed to be, but they decided to add more divas in there and just spontaneously bring more people in. But it goes down between the two. Brie Bella locks in the yes lock, but the referee gets distracted by Eva Marie. Brie Bella knocks down Eva. Lana hits the super kick, locks in the accolade, which Brie Bella unfortunately has to tap out to, and Lana gets the victory. I know a lot of people think, well, you're taking away Brie's WrestleMania moment. You have to remember that Brie doesn't necessarily have to win to have a WrestleMania moment. If she does 2 eliminations, if they do a 3-on-1 deal, she can get 2 eliminations, and she could still do that awesome yes lock counter on Naomi. It would still work. I mean, you don't have to win to get a WrestleMania moment. Just remember that. So basically, Eva Marie is going full-born heel, and she's going to be on the main roster in a stable, which I will get to in just a minute. Ryback versus Kalisto, I wouldn't change anything about it. The only thing I probably would change would be the finish, because that spot on SmackDown where Salida del Sol by Kalisto on Ryback, that was cool. When he did it from the top rope and just did that, I thought that was actually a cool moment. I think it's kind of a good idea to recreate that and bring that to the center stage of WrestleMania. So, WrestleMania main card, the ladder match for the Intercontinental title, wouldn't change anything. I would keep the match purely as is, and I would ensure that all the matches are indeed, well, all the competitors are indeed showcased to their best potential. Zack Ryder coming out victorious, getting his WrestleMania moment, and I think it's kind of a redemption deal because now people are not going to remember him as the guy who got low blowed by Eve Torres. They're going to remember him as the guy who won the ladder match at WrestleMania 32. We go from that matchup to the New Day versus the League of Nations. This matchup, all members of the League of Nations will take on all members of the New Day for the tag team titles. That was originally how it was supposed to be. That is how it is going to happen here. So, in this matchup, back and forth deal. During the matchup, Barrett gets hit with the bro kick accidentally by Sheamus, and then Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods all hit their finishers on Del Rio, Rusev, and Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. New Day get the victory, and they retain the tag team titles. I want to see the Dudley Boys heel against the New Day's face. So that is why I kind of set that up for tomorrow night. And a lot of these are going to kind of be branching off of each other. It just makes, perfect sense. So we go from that to the post-match deal. The League of Nations beats down the New Day, but then they also argue with each other. Cue in Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Continue to have that. I would keep that in there. There would not be any problems with that. From that, we go into the Triple Threat Women's Championship matchup. First thing I would do, throw out Flair. Keep him out of ringside and make sure that he does not get involved in the WrestleMania matchup. Because honestly, it was a great match. That was the only thing that I had major issues with. And how the ending could happen is that you could have Becky Lynch lock in the disarm her on Sasha Banks. Charlotte out of nowhere with the natural selection. 1, 2, 3. And Charlotte becomes the new women's champion. So Sasha Banks could still have the, legitimate reasoning to say, hey, I want a matchup because you never beat me. You never have beat me. Blah, blah, blah. The whole promo that she did a couple weeks ago on Raw, that was awesome. I would still keep that there. But also, I wanted to kind of have a faction created with Charlotte, Dana Brooke, Eva Marie, and if they want to, they can call up somebody like Alexa Bliss, maybe, and have a giant, new generation 4 horsewomen against the old generation, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley. And if they want to bring up somebody like, say, Asuka for one night only, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Why not? So from there, we go into Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. This matchup apparently was a big time disappointment. They were expecting more, so we're going to make more of this opportunity. This matchup, knockdown, drag about, brawl, chair shots. You can bring in, barbed wire. You can even, I know that they brought the whole chainsaw deal into the mix. I think it'd be kind of cool just to use it as a weapon. Don't turn it on, but just use it as like a weapon that you just clunk over the head, something like that. Maybe have Dean Ambrose tease that he's going to, turn it on, but have Brock Lesnar interrupt it. Definitely include Barbie into the match a little more. Suplex City, Suplex City. The matchup ending with Brock Lesnar hitting the F5, 1, 2, Dean Ambrose kicking out, sets up chairs, and it looks like we're going to see Dean Ambrose going to get superplexed onto those stairs, on those chairs, I should say, by Brock Lesnar. But now Brock Lesnar, but unfortunately Brock Lesnar gets countered. Dean Ambrose hits a rolling power bomb, sending him through the tables. Dirty deeds, 1, 2, 3. Dean Ambrose gets the victory. I think it's definitely time for Brock Lesnar to start, pushing some of these younger guys up. And I think it's time for Brock Lesnar to, kind of start being that guy who kind of fades in the